Hi, my name is Gary Reinblatt, and I'd love to address your group. I believe I bring a unique combination of education, entertainment, and motivation to each one of my presentations. I use my experience as a senior marketing executive to present a group of sales, marketing, and business principles. In addition to what you're about to see, I also do a presentation on the ups and downs of owning a franchise or dealership. The motivation comes from my recovery from a devastating spinal cord injury, which initially left me completely paralyzed. I have made over 400 presentations to groups throughout North America, and I pride myself on having each one of them personalized. I hope you enjoy the following segments from a recent speech. Thank you.
Well, what I want to talk to you about today is I've had a little bit of experience in marketing and sales. And over the years, I've gathered up a whole bunch of principles of sales and marketing. The first marketing principle, that never forget that you're always dealing with a disinterested customer. Your customer couldn't care less about you. They don't care if you're owned by Bayton, VCE, the Globe and Mail, Bayton and the Globe and Mail, CTV, BBS. They don't give a damn. All they care about is this: what can you do for me? Your customer is totally disinterested, and never forget that your customer couldn't care less about you. Never forget that the customer is essentially lazy, and the easier you can make it for him or her, the better. One example, give you a little secret about the fast food business. The profit is in the fries and the drinks. Okay, these, I know, you're probably surprised to hear that. So, we wanted to build up the business in fries and drinks. So we came up with the combo meal. Essentially, and we said, you want number 1, number 2, or number 3? So instead of the consumer coming in and ordering Big Mac, fries, and a drink, medium fries, small fries, big drink, small drink, they said, give me a number 1. And honest, sales went crazy. Well, of course, so did profitability. But remember, this customer is essentially lazy. If you have a rate card that the customer can't understand, it's useless. Make it simple for the customer. I don't care what job you have, whether you're the bean counter, the purchasing agent, a media buyer, no matter what job you have, essentially everybody's job is that of a salesman. We're all salesmen. The bean counter's out selling the numbers. The media buyer better sell the client that this is a good buy, and so on. We're all salesmen. No matter what job you have, your job is to sell somebody else. I know that you're having a good year, which is terrific. I know that last year at this time, it wasn't as good. I've been around in business a long time, and this is my philosophy. Never gloat when you're on top, and never be too depressed when you're on the bottom. The reason for this, believe me, hang around long enough and it'll all be reversed. Boy, this is one that you really understand. Don't be afraid of change. And to say you've had a little bit of change would be an understatement. I mean, if someone were to say 2 years ago that the group from Nexstar would be in this room with you, okay, and your competitor would have the same name as you, believe me, no one would believe it. You know, change has 3 elements. The first element is 3 words, the last word being way. Huge resistance to change. Second element, change. Reluctant acceptance. Let's see how it works. Maybe it'll work this way. Let's see what happens. The third element, can you believe we ever did it any other way? I can't believe it ever happened. Understand that change is part of it. Don't be afraid. Accept it, embrace it, and make sure it happens. Find the wafer. I don't know how many of you have seen one of the great movies of all time, Monty Python's The Meaning of Life. And the guy sits there, and he eats, and he eats, and he eats, and he eats, and he eats. And he's blowing up, and blowing up, and blowing up. Those of you who know exactly the scene I'm talking about. And they say, just one more wafer, sir, just a wafer. Oh, no, 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 just a wafer, just have a wafer. And he has this little bit of a thin wafer, and explodes. Well, finding the wafer means knowing what it takes to make that sale, that last wafer, that last morsel to make the sale. Your job is to go out and find it. Show me someone who can't sing a medley of their failures, and I'll show you a loser. There is nothing wrong in failing. Believe me, you show me someone who only has success to them, and I'll show you someone who's never taken a chance. The old cliche about Babe Ruth, he stood in 714 home runs and struck out 1,004. This is true. Everyone who's a success can sing a medley of their failure. Always go through the front door. When you go through the front door, you go in as a customer. When you go in through the back door, you go in as an employee. Always go through the front door. Sometimes you have to make 100% decisions when 50.1% of the facts are in your favor. Understand that. You're never going to be in a situation where you make a decision and 100% of the facts are in favor of this decision. And that's why you're there, because you have to decide whether 50.1% of the facts are in your favor. Now I want to just conclude by talking a little bit about my road back. As Rob said, in 1990, out in Whistler Mountain, last day of spring break, planted my ski pole. Next thing I remember, I'm in the hospital in Vancouver. I said, where am I? I said, you're in a hospital in Vancouver. And this is what I could do. You've got to watch very carefully. Shrug my shoulders. I had absolutely no movement at all. I made a decision right almost there. I said, look, if I want to figure out how unlucky I am, after all, I'm sitting here paralyzed, I'll never sleep a minute again in my life. If I wanted to feel how lucky I am, after all, I came within a quarter inch, breaking my neck of dying. I mean, just a little bit higher and I would have been dead. Then I'll never sleep another minute again in my life. So get on with life, because you got to sleep. I was 13 months in a rehab hospital, getting it back 1 millimeter at a time. My father taught me, never be afraid of life. Believe me, it stayed in good stead. I've also been able to keep life in perspective. And remember, it ain't no dress rehearsal. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
As I said earlier, I'd love to address your group, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.